enough wasting. There's a monkey on my back. Now I'm wandering this landscape like Jack Kerouac. Do you think I should go back to my old neighborhood?
There has been a lot going on since my last report to you. Quincy Lodge had a visit by the CHEA State President, Lance Erickson. The new district deputy, Sharon Betancourt, had her jeweling ceremony. There was a Veterans Day barbecue in Reno. The 19th annual Walla Ride is coming up, as well as the upcoming annual Northeast District Jamboree. Stay tuned for details. As promised, I will tell you what CHEA is. It stands for California-Hawaii Elks Association. It is the cooperative body of Elks Lodges in California and Hawaii. There is also an organization called CHEA, which is California-Hawaii Elks Major Project Incorporated. This, then, is an accounting of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks on the West Coast and the formation of CHEA and CHEA. Carla Lardner, the daughter of Sabella and Bob Souza, who is one of the two district leaders in the Northeast District of the Elks organization, appeared on Wheel of Fortune recently. Carla went to Placer High School, Sac State, and is now teaching at the Lincoln Montessori School.
I've crossed the line from apathy to Disneyland. Oh,
CHEA State President Lance Erickson and his First Lady Karen were wined and dined during their visit to the Quincy Lodge number 1884, August 17th through the 20th. Their visit found them boating on Bucks Lake, taking in the features of the Greenhorn Ranch, including enjoying a rib and chicken barbecue, riding in a horse-drawn wagon around the wooded acreage of the ranch, and roasting marshmallows for s'mores around a campfire. The exhibition hall at the Plumas County Fairgrounds was the site of the formal banquet to honor President Erickson and his First Lady Karen. And the newly remodeled courtyard of the Ranchito Motel served as a perfect meeting place after the banquet for folks to wind down and reminisce about the fun-filled trip. Lake Almanor Lodge, number 2626, will be holding their 19th annual Wheel around the Lake Almanor, or Walla, hand cycle endurance ride. The name has been enhanced to include the name of longtime elk member and the co-founder of the Walla ride, Randy Fossum. The event will again take on the 34-mile trek around Lake Almanor Sunday, September 18th. Randy Fossum, who passed away last year, had been a ride participant for the first 16 years. He said, "It's important that we all understand that this is not a race to see who wins. It's about the wheelers setting personal goals and meeting the challenge of the 34-mile route." A separate registration form will be made available to any cycler who would like to ride and support the wheelchair athletes. The general cost to the public to join is $34, $1 for each mile of the course. In addition to the Sunday morning endurance challenge, Walla offers a Saturday evening dinner and an event day breakfast for the participants. Pledges made to the riders and community contributions, both local and from across the nation, have exceeded $80,000 over the ride's history. Year-round donations can be made to WALA, care of Lake Almanor Elks Lodge, Post Office Box 1329, Chester, California, 96020. The annual event is traditionally hosted the second Sunday after Labor Day. For more information about the ride in general, or to request to be a 2016 sponsor, contact Terry Parsons at 530-258-9447 or email him at terryparsons@digitalpath.net. The California Northeast District of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks held their annual Veterans Barbecue at the Department of Veteran Affairs Community Living Center in Reno on August 8th. There were many lodges in the Northeast District who participated in the event, including Susanville, Auburn, Quincy, Nevada City, Grass Valley, and Lake Almanor. The veterans in the Reno Community Center were treated with a barbecue of hot dogs and hamburgers with all the fixins, chips, sodas, and cookies. The men and women delight in these visits. Some of these veterans are there until they can get better to leave. Some will never leave. Most veterans love to talk of the role they played to secure our freedom. They truly appreciate the time that those volunteers give to be with our heroes in uniform. Larry Rogers is the Elks National Veterans Service Chairman in the Northeast District. A big thank you goes out to all of those who offered up their time and compassion for our veterans. Auburn Lodge number 1691 was the site of the jeweling of the new District Deputy Grand Exalted Ruler Sharon Betancourt on Saturday, August 6th. There was a host of attendees and well-wishers. Dick McDonald, past state president, had the honor of placing the jewels on Sharon, to a round of applause from her supporters.
It is with great satisfaction that I invest you with the jewel of your office. For I am confident that under your leadership, the Northeast District will continue to prosper and grow. This is a real honor for me to be able to do this for Sharon. She was one of my best vice presidents, but all 18 of them were good. May you be guided by wisdom and discretion, and may the influences of charity, justice, brotherly love prompt you to discharge your duties with fidelity. District Deputy Grand Exalted Ruler Sharon, this is your official DD badge. Wear it with honor as you represent this great order in the Northeast District. Good luck, best wishes, and you may be seated.
Brother Richard Andy Anderson, a 1953 charter member and the 7th Exalted Ruler of Quincy Lodge, passed in August 2016. He was raised in Southern California and moved to Quincy after he left the military service. He had a mortuary business in Portola and was Quincy's fire chief for 30 years, retiring at 70 years old. He served as fair manager from 1989 to 2000. He gained the respect and admiration of all who knew him. The annual Jamboree will be held in Quincy at the Plumas County Fairgrounds September 22nd through the 25th. The activities this year include horseshoes, crazy golf, pig races, chili cook-off, white elephant exchange, pontoon boats, and mill tour. Participants are encouraged to bring their RVs and stay at the Fairgrounds RV Park, but many people stay in a local hotel like the Ranchito and drive to the Fairgrounds RV Park to enjoy the festivities. For more information about this fun event, contact Jim Boston at sigma@jimboston.com. If you travel through the Feather River Canyon via Highway 70, you will come upon the little town of Quincy, located 144 miles northeast of Sacramento in the American Valley. Being the county seat of Plumas County, it has a beautiful county courthouse and houses the Plumas County Fair. Quincy keeps the charm of its origins with its many lovely shops and buildings, varied nightlife, and restaurants and hotels. There are many artistic outlets via the Plumas Arts, the High Sierra Music Festival, local artists displayed down Main Street, the stage plays, and the music at the West End Theater. Here is an artistic touch you won't find everywhere. This wedding dress is made of paper. It all started during the 1850s and the gold rush, with men looking for ways to get the gold out of the mountains in the most effective routes. James Beckwourth was an American mountain man, fur trader, and explorer. A mulatto born into slavery in Virginia, he was freed by his father and master, and apprenticed to a blacksmith. Later he moved to the American West. In 1850, Beckwourth was credited with discovering what was to become Beckwourth Pass, a low-elevation Native American pass through the Sierra Nevada mountains between present-day Reno, Nevada, and Portola, California. In 1851, he improved what became the Beckwourth Trail, which thousands of settlers followed to Central California, and he set up his trading post to sell his furs to travelers. As many towns during that time, Quincy started as a gold rush community. It was originally a little gold camp called Elizabethtown, chivalrously named by the miners after Elizabeth Stark, the only young lady in that camp. The camp started in 1852 and slowly dissolved and moved a mile away into the American Valley to form Quincy in 1854 as the county seat of Plumas County. Quincy is named after the city of Quincy, Illinois, named in turn after John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States, and the hometown of James Hugh Bradley, one of the organizers of Plumas County who donated the land at Quincy for the establishment of the county seat. Of course, all of this ignored the original inhabitants of the American Valley, the Maidu Indians, who had lived in the valley for centuries before the white man came. Forced from their ancestral homes along the valley's southern exposure by agricultural development, many attached themselves to the new ranches and became domestic servants and ranch hands. As the little town grew, many improvements were needed to answer the demands of the development. Roads and communication lines developed. First telegraph, then the telephone linked Quincy to the outside. During the 1870s, the area was in full economic boom as the gold poured from the hydraulic mines. Come the turn of the century, for various reasons, gold mining was starting to decline, and the timber industry was beginning an upward swing. In 1910, the newly completed Western Pacific Railroad connected Quincy with the rest of the world economically. With gold and copper mining still a viable revenue source, the timber industry's rapidly increasing development, and agriculture's steady output, turn of the 20th century Quincy looked better than it ever had economically. In 1921, a new courthouse was completed to replace the 1859 structure that had served the county for over 60 years. In 1937, the Feather River Highway was completed, allowing easier auto travel to and from the county seat. A sawmill sprang up where today's Plumas Pines Shopping Center is located. During the late 1930s and into the 1950s, mill owner C.A. King brought a large number of African Americans from Lake Charles, Louisiana to Quincy to work in the mill. Growth has occurred in all directions, but particularly in East Quincy, originally a collection of ranches. It is here in 1953 that the charter for a Quincy Lodge number 1884 was established, and the first exalted ruler was Howard Train. The lodge had two previous locations before residing in its present location at 2004 East Main Street. It boasts an impressive lodge room, a large kitchen, and well-appointed bar. Quincy Lodge's present exalted ruler, Ray Busselin, has been working hard to keep true to the traditions of the Elks organization while bringing new ideas and energy. Ray has been an Elk member for 15 years and has been working for SPI Forklift for 20 years. He moved to Quincy in 1992 from Vallejo and loves the little town of Quincy. Be sure to stop by the lodge and say hi to Ray if you're in town.
Go back to my old neighborhood, my whole family never knew me as I really am. I've crossed the line.
Last edition, I told you of the formation of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks and the founding of the original Lodge Number 1 in New York in February of 1868 by Charles Algernon Sidney Vivian. The second Elks Lodge was formed in Philadelphia on February 19, 1871. Since the majority of Elks were actors and entertainers, they traveled extensively throughout the country. In 1873, members found themselves in San Francisco, where they decided to organize a lodge. On June 8, 1873, members sent a communication to the Grand Lodge in New York, which read in part, "To Grand Lodge, BPOE, New York City, we, the undersigned members of the above-forementioned Honorable Order, now residing in San Francisco, respectfully request that you grant us a charter to form a branch in this city." Thus, on February 22, 1876, 5 years after the original United States Lodge Number 1 was started in New York, San Francisco Elks Lodge Number 3 was formed and was the first Elks charter formed in the state of California. The first exalted ruler of San Francisco Lodge Number 3 was Thomas R. Eagleston, who was better known by his stage name, Tom Keene. Tom Keene was a fairly well-known tragedian. He was famous for playing Richard III, Hamlet, and Macbeth, among many others, traveling throughout the United States and England. Aside from being the first ER of San Francisco, Brother Keene was also the first District Deputy of California and acted as the Deputy Grand Exalted Ruler at Large. An interesting historical aside, Tom Keene was a good friend of Edwin Thomas Booth. Keene and Booth worked together on the stage on numerous occasions, including at the California Theater in San Francisco. Although Edwin Booth was a well-known actor, he is better known as the brother of John Wilkes Booth, the assassin of President Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln had several sons, all but one of which had died young. Edwin Booth had saved Lincoln's surviving son from an untimely death. So, one Booth saved a Lincoln son, and one Booth killed the Lincoln father. The number of lodges continued to multiply in California, with the latest charter number 2699 in Reedley. In 1900, Hawaii became a territory of the United States and thus qualified for BPOE Fraternal Order. On April 13, 1901, the Mariposa, a ship from California, brought Judge Jerome B. Fisher, Grand Exalted Ruler of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, into the harbor to open a lodge for Hawaii. The Honolulu, Hawaii Lodge number 616 was opened on April 15, 1901. Now, since the formation of CHEA in 1950, with 171 lodges in 19 districts, including the islands of Guam and Philippines, the California Hawaii Elks Association, or CHEA, serves disabled children, veterans, and youth in a wide range of activities. While each state has its own major project, CHEA is working to help children with disabilities. Further, each lodge is working to ensure the future and well-being of our youth by being involved with the Dictionary Project, Scouting, Hoop Shoot, Drug Awareness, American Essay Contests, and, second only to the federal government, scholarships. You'll also find members helping during the holidays with parties and gifts for the children. Patriotism runs deep through the heart of Elkdom as the members work to support our nation's veterans. Whether it means cooking for them, celebrating with them on Veterans Day, singing karaoke with them, having them parades, or simply visiting our servicemen and women at various veterans hospitals and other facilities, veterans will be honored as long as there are Elks. In order to fund the different projects in the CHEA arsenal, the money organization of CHEA was formed. CHEA stands for California Hawaii Elks Major Project Incorporated. Purple piggy banks are filled by members, turned in, and all money is pooled. In addition to what the individual lodges raise, the Elks National Foundation gives funds back to the lodges in the form of scholarships, grants, and gifts. The Elks National Foundation gave $990,000 to the California Hawaii Elks Association, and the individual lodges raised over $2 million to bring the total for this past year to $3.3 million. A lot of aid can be given out to disabled children, veterans, youth programs, and activities this year with that money. Join us next time when I feature the Susanville Elks Lodge. I am Rhonda Rogers, and this is Mountain Monitor. Mountain Monitor is recorded by Atwood Video Productions in Auburn, California. See you next time.
Well, time's not for wasting. There's a monkey on my back. Now I'm wandering this landscape like Dracula.